Hey, KINE 1P93 students, Ian Gordon here to present a seminar or type of workshop on how to complete the essay assignment in this particular course, and also to how to be a better researcher. Let's get started. I'm a teaching and learning librarian. I'm a scientist by research and study. I help faculty, staff do research, and people reach out to me and my colleagues in teaching and learning how to do something, how to know more about something, or to get assistance and work side by side, whether it's in small groups or one-on-one. We'll show you how to book a consultation at the end. But I'm an academic librarian that can help you, and hopefully this will help you through this course assignment as well. So here's the course, Foundations of Movement Studies. It's a big course, big in a way that it covers many particular themes, body, culture, movement, contemporary physical education. So doing this essay may seem simple. You have lots of opportunities to work with your TA and the faculty member, and you'll do a good job. Hopefully you'll learn a few things, how to be more systematic and how to be a better researcher as you move forward with this particular essay. So here's last year's essay. It isn't much differently, but it gives you timelines, deadlines, meet them, and what's expected. The final draft of your essay is due in a particular type, and you'll be asked to create 5 pages or late using APA formatting and style. You'll be asked to find a minimum of a number of peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles. And so that's what I'm going to help you with today. Other ways of finding definitions and sources, what databases to use. Hopefully you glean from this presentation in order to get enough material to do this particular essay. But first of all, hopefully you get enough information to test a topic or two, or to find something of interest. It's always best to do something of interest that relates to the course, but meeting the deadlines, meeting the final essay instructions is really crucial to doing something that's successful. I'm going to start with the Brock Library, and on the front page is a Research Guides tab, and I found the Kinesiology Guide. On this guide is this video and slide deck. I've archived this and put a license to it because it's my creative works, no different than your essay. You should think to put your essay up in a source that you can cite and link to. Contact me if you'd like to know more about that. But this Kinesiology Library Research Guide has a welcome page on the front. A tab for articles, books, gray literature I won't be going through, but check that out. How to find data as it relates to kinesiology, this course. Borrow from other libraries, and additional course guides, because not only is kinesiology intersected with education and health, there's other sources that you can use as well. And on our front page is the chat on the bottom left, and a help guide, so there's lots of help here. In this seminar, I'm going to talk about the top 10 resources you should know about. Scholar resources for books and databases for articles, citation management, how to track and keep the citations in a systematic way you can use for this course and other courses as well. Where, how, and when to get help. Top 10 resources you should know about. So here they are. Zotero Bib. People use APA Generator, the databases. Even Omni has a citation style. So you click on it and it does your cite in the format. APA is what you're using. But Zotero Bib is something you'll bookmark and use. I think it's the best. Zotero is a tool that's kind of related. It's not linked, but you need to register, sign up, and download Zotero. It helps you track these citation managements, hope you have a better appreciation of it. I will challenge you to do this, and if you need help, contact me, we can help. Omni is our sources in our Brock Library for books, videos, articles, journals, all those sorts of things, so it's a place you can't avoid. How to get things from other libraries in case you find things that aren't in our collection you'd like to look at. They're free, never pay for anything. We can get materials for you and show you how to do that. The Kinesiology Library Guide, like I showed you, and how to use Google Scholar, Google Books, and advanced Google searching. Always good tools to help you get started, to find things, to find supplementary materials as well. When, where, and how to get help. And lastly, how to book a consultation with me or somebody else if you find that of interest. So here, 10 resources you should know about, books. So here's the topic I've chosen as an example to move through this example. How does risky play contribute to children's confidence and self-assessment? So many moving parts here, but it's maybe a research topic for the essay in this particular course. Probably not, but I'm going to use this as an example. And you can use your own example to test try push and pull. First of all, I went to Omni and I looked for books. And so you can put the words risky play in any field with quotation marks at the side. It looks at the word up as a phrase, risky, beside the word play. Then I ended that with any one of these concepts, and I separated them by or. So I'm looking for risky play and confidence, risky play and assessment, risky play and at the end of child, it's shift 8 asterisk. So I have any word with that root, children's, child's, child hyphenated words. So I'm looking for anything in the books on the right-hand side, resource type, in our Brock library that has anything to do with risky play as a phrase and any one of these concepts. So try, test, try, push, and pull. I only found 11 books, but they looked of interest. You can sort them by relevancy, these by date. You can further limit them. But I found it's good serendipity as a research methodology. I browsed them. The first one looks interesting. The second one, the third one, risky play, an ethical challenge. Now, they aren't journal articles, but sometimes books have edited articles within them, or just looking for context to know more about this as well. So I'll click on that one, and it brings up a full metadata or description of this particular entry. It gives the title of the authors, tells you how many chapters are in this book. So it's an online book, so it's an ebook. Tells you one of the 3 databases you can get it at, and gives you more information. So it tells you the keywords, description about this book, and this is where the words as my search term help me to find this book. And like finding shoes on any particular web database, may ask you to look for socks as well. So here's a way of searching for this book. I found this book. I could use any one of these subjects or keywords to find other books like this. So I found it. I looked at it. I looked at the table of contents to see if there's something there. And then I found chapter 2 was kind of neat. It kind of gave me context. And then chapter 5 was really good. I uploaded or downloaded it and read it online. And I put the word assessment in to search through an online book. You can't do this in a print book. So assessment happens 31 times in this book, and it highlights it in the book as you move through it. It's a way of kind of skipping through the book to find sections that may be appropriate. Doing good and avoiding harm. It's all about risky play then and now. So different types of books may be helpful. It's not part of this assignment, but it gives you context. A good article here can be cited and used as well. So books are important. Zotero Bib, I put the ISBN number. It's usually a 13-digit number. It's specific to that book in the Zotero Bib. And I clicked on the bottom of the APA, and it pulled the citation to me. The measure of a good citation tool like Zotero Bib is, does it interpret the rules appropriately for all sorts of types of materials, whether it be articles, books, theses, plays, videos, web pages. And actually, Zotero Bib does, I think, the best job for it. So you can cut and paste this and put this in your reference list. Lots of books on this particular topic. Some of them may be of interesting, tables of contents. It's sometimes a way of exploratory as you kind of vet out what is my research question, what am I actually looking at. So books are important. Databases, there are lots of databases we can look at. So let's look at some of them. So here's all the databases that may be relevant to you. The ones in green are open or free databases. Sometimes you have to register for them, but they're open. You go to them, create an account, and search for scholarly materials, whether they be articles or related materials or not. And the ones in black are proprietary databases, meaning the ones at Brock where we subscribe to, and you can move through using the proxy server and the appropriate URL and search for those as well. So there's always a mix. It wouldn't be nice if there was one database like our catalog, Google, or no, there's probably more with AI-driven databases. There's more than less. And here it says Scopus is a database that's stroked out in this list here. Web of Science is an important key database in our library. Scopus is another one. We just don't subscribe to it at Brock, but you may trip across it in your journeys as well. So which one do I use and how do I use it? There's other databases people are using. Have you ever heard use Perplexity? So you can put in a research question and it gives you a structured outline, which is kind of nice, and it gives you the top 5 sources for free. You can subscribe to it, you don't have to, but it's a way of getting started to how they frame this research question as well. Another database is Elicit. You have to subscribe to it, and I put in my research question. It actually writes an introductory paragraph and puts in citations. Again, since you're the reader, you're using these AI-driven tools, you have to discern whether they're appropriate, whether they include scholarly materials. You don't copy these, that's plagiarism, but it helps you shape how you think as well. And Elicit gave these citations that may be appropriate. to search our catalog, Omni, to see whether they're in our library, to get the full text. And then you determine whether they're appropriate or not. So there's two. Another one I use all the time is Undermine. Subscribe to it. Allows you to put in a research question. You produces a report of an embedded text for essays. This is like gold. You can't use it for this essay, but it helps you to structure, think like it. Someone may tell you about this. I'm just telling you up front. Then it gives you a report of citations. I think there were 13 for this particular search. And it ranks them and cites them. Use Omni to find the full text of this as well. So these are three tools that you'll trip across if you don't play with them. They're great. They can't be used to create your essay, but help you to prepare for an essay. I use Advanced Google, not only Google. And Advanced Google, the URL is there. It allows you to search in different ways. So I'm looking for the word risky play as an exact word or phrase. I'm looking for a risky play, like I did in Omni, any one of these words or variants of these words. But in the bottom allows you to structure code Google. So I'm looking for words in the title of a page or PDF. I'm just looking for PDFs, because PDFs are usually reports, scholarly articles. When I click on advanced search and I get a results look something like this, and see how it scripts the top, what you're looking for. They may be things that may be important to give you context, definitions, where to look for. You can look up these in Omni to see whether we have them in our library or not. But again, you have to assess whether this is appropriate or not. So Google, Advanced Google, are two great search engines. Google Books is another search engine if you don't use it. It allows you to use this URL and look for words or phrases in limited preview books. And so it takes a book and looks at parts of it as well. Here's 3 books that there are parts of it. You can browse, look at the first table of contents, look at parts of it, and maybe most of it. It's a way of getting started. We may have these books in Omni in our library, which you can look at the full text. But again, it helps to bridge context as well. I found this book, what was in this list in Omni, and here's the title. And it had this chapter in it. And then I thought I was going to use it. And then I grabbed the citation, put it in Zotero, Bib, and Zotero. So you're push-pulling, testing, trying to find things in books and other related databases as well. Google Scholar is what I usually use search beyond those other tools as well. If you use Google Scholar, go to the Brock Library, and the pull-down menu under search, it lists all our databases, but it lists Google Scholar. And when you list Google Scholar and you search it, and you put in a word or phrase or series, it's a pretty blunt database. You don't know what it's searching. On the right-hand side, it brings up our holdings. So we send Google our collections, and it links to the holdings, which works most of the time. If there's nothing there for the holdings, we may have it, or the holdings may not take you directly to it. So it works, but most of the time, but not all the time as well. So you can sort these by relevance or by date and find things, an article or two that may be related to your topic for a definition, a concept, because you really have to research and craft your research question, then do a search to find articles to support that. Brock Omni is great, and so you can not only find Omni to find books, but on the right-hand side, I use the same search strategy to find articles. 2 different sets of databases, 2 different results. And so here I found 56 results using Omni. You don't know what it's searching like Google Scholar, but it may find a few things since you only have to find a limited number of scholarly articles. It may be all that you need. It gives you the title of the author, tells you how to link to it, where it may be in our library, and other things that are functional in Omni. So you really need to know how Omni works, and to do that as well. Well, let's go back to our research guide. So our research guide for kinesiology, like all the research guides, have tabs for different things, but it has one for articles. Let's click on that. And on the articles tab, it says here's a number of articles, some context, then it lists those databases that may be most good starting points for you to do your research. Google Scholar's there, Web of Science Core Collection, Sport Discus, Medline. So there's a number of starting databases that you could use. Most researches for your topic here include more than one database, and though there's overlap amongst them all, you really should search Sport Discus, Google Scholar, and Web of Science products as well. Let's go through them as well. So here's the guide in our library. So Google Scholar is a prompt, but Brock Databases is listed here as well. And so we have over 414 open and proprietary databases. My sense when you want to search a database is browse through these, go through the guide, but use these links because it takes you directly to the databases and search for them within the Brock domain, which is important when you're finding things. Here's all the databases. Lots of databases. The red ones are the ones that I would suggest you use for this assignment. Sport Discus, Web of Science Complete, Advanced Google, Google Scholar are good tools, and Education Source, since things in movement, physical education kind of overlap with education and physical education as well. But you choose which database works and how they work. Here's my research question. The databases and why. Web of Science Complete includes Medline, which is medicine or health. Sport Discus includes lots of things that aren't in Web of Science or in medicine or health. Google Scholar, Advanced Google, and there's other databases. You have a psychological perspective or a sociological perspective, so you can search more than one database. They tend to overlap, but these are the core databases you should search in the order that you prefer. So we've gone through books, databases, we look for articles. Let's now do a research article using this assignment. So think of your research question. It'll take you a while to develop it and to provide it in context and validate it with the TA or the faculty member. And so I took risky play, children's is my population, confidence or self-assessment. So you divide these into concepts. Where in some databases you can throw the research question we've seen. You can throw a series of keywords, phrases, or acronyms. Here, in a Scholarly database, you have to think like the databases. And the databases are all differently. I mean, you put stuff in and stuff comes out as well, but they have personalities like people, so they do things differently. And so that's why it's important to search each database with the same search engine formatting the same way. Sometimes you want to provide context, so I did a Google search and found an article on risky play, why kids need it, which helped develop keywords and phrases I didn't think of before. I found a handbook, the librarian helped me, that helped me to define what risky play was. You should define your terms that you're talking about. But here's my search strategy. So I separated them into concepts. Risky play, I really can't think of another word that talks about risky play without those words. So it's in as a phrase. So my next concept is my population child. There's that shift date asterisk, child, children's, youth or students or boys or girls. My third concept, I could have 4 or 5, I could just have 2. I have 3. Usually you should have 3. I'm looking for everything with these 2 concepts that deals with confidence or confident, self-assessment, spelled as a phrase or a word, self-assessment, or just assess or assesses or assessing. So those are my search strategy, and you put it into the database, search each database separately to see what I'm going to get. Sometimes you need a synonym database, and I use WordHippo all the time. It's free and open. Find another word. So I put in risky and found other words that may be just as appropriate. It's like teenager or adolescent or high school student. What words describe this concept? English is not perfect, so sometimes that's why you need to think of different words that describe these concepts as well before you search. So here, I went into Sport Discus because that was an important search data. And if you click on the Choose Databases that's on the top, sometimes databases have the same search engine formatting, like search engine. You can put them together. So I'm searching Education Source, Academic Search Complete, and Sport Discus together at the same time. So I got the phrase risky play and found a number of articles. I went, okay. I put in my population, I added the next concept and ordered the synonyms, found some more articles. I test, try, push, pulled. I put in these other third concepts. Then I went back and I said, risky play should be in the title of the article since it's an academic scholarly source. I can use the filters on the bottom left. I look for things that are usually in English or a certain time range that are in academic journals. And I got only 12 results. You may have 100, you may have 50, you may have 5. It's up to you to determine whether this is working or not, modifying your search, and then browse to the results. And so I browsed through these. The second article, the prevalence of risky play in young children's indoor and outdoor free play, looked interesting. So on the right, I clicked that box, yellow, and put it into a folder. So it's like a saving place. Until you leave the database, it saves everything you highlight and park to one spot. Then I looked at it. Here's the full citation, authors, title, looks scholarly. It's an article. It's about play assessment. Never thought of that. The author's keywords have risky play. That's how I got this article in this database. It has an abstract. It gives me a sense of whether this may be relevant or not. And then the bottom it gives me DOI, which is a number that's unique to this particular article. And usually always starts with 10 dot. So I've got this. Do I want to use it or not? You will probably be over rather than underwhelmed by the amount of topics. But in your data collection, as you pull together an article to scaffold or this part of your essay, as a definition or context or illustrate an issue, you grab these things and put them into this table. You can use Zotero Bib if you want. So I put the DOI. The one's missing, but it's 10.1007. I just cut and paste it, click on API in the bottom, and it does the citation. I think that's pretty good. Cut and paste it, put it into your essay. You actually have to read the articles. So how does this relate to the thesis question, your research question? How does it relate to your scaffold, an introduction, a commentary? What data are you taking from? Is it scholarly? And this is part of the research fundamentals course. Is it a scholarly peer-reviewed article? Well, smells, tastes, and looks scholarly peer-reviewed. So I think it is. It has an abstract. The authors are academics. It builds onto a body of knowledge. They cite their sources. It looks scholarly, and these are the sorts of things you're looking for to put into your essay. And you can use Zotero Bib if you want and grab the citation and make it right there. You got to read the article. I jumped to Web of Science, and I use Web of Science Complete because it includes a number of databases, but it's the same search engine formatting, kind of like Sport Discus. What are my search concepts? What's my research concept? How do I transliterate that into search strategy? So here I've looked up at things risky, near, / to play. So some databases do things differently. This, instead of looking it up as a phrase, it looks for the word risky within 2 words of the word play. It's because it could be risky children's play. Again, I can help you with that. And the topic is keywords and titles, abstracts, authors keywords, and database keywords. I look for anything that starts with children's or youth or teens or elementary or phrases, and I found out how many things there were together. I looked at the results and found 44, but then I limited them on the left-hand side by just articles that are in English, that are within the last 4 or 5 years. And I browsed them, sorted them from highest citation to lowest, as opposed to by relevancy, by date. And serendipity is research methodology. I read the title and see whether it's of interest or not. The second one looks interesting. And just like Sport Discus, you can tab it. So I highlighted it, number 2, and I added it to the list. So that's my parking spot. So I want to export everything to Zotero. But this has 26 citations since it was published in 2021. So not only does this article have 68 references that may be important to me, may want to click on that and look at those 26 as well. Here's that full citation, the link to the 26 and the 68 that are in the database. But I read the abstract, I read the title, I look at the keywords and says, does this relate? Can I scaffold this article into my essay? You will be overwhelmed and underwhelmed, so you may have to be more specific, but it's always good to get these things and put them aside. You have to decide whether they're relevant to the research question and they're relevant to the essay that you're creating as well. And yes, you have to read the article. And there's the citation for that as well. Is it scholarly peer review? Every time you got to ask yourself that question. Authors, dates. It has the word, you see it says accepted, 10th of January 2021, then published. So I'm assuming that means it went through scholarly review, meaning it took a month and a half to go through that process. And so it looks scholarly, it is scholarly. I'm going to incorporate that in part of my essay. Zotero Bib, now you're showing you how it works well. It's in Devil. I use Zotero Bib 30 times a day. Citation management. So you've done your searching. You've looked at your databases. You go, is this going to work or not? And if it does, then you jump forward and informally do all your searches and grab your results. Zotero looks like this. It has a desktop application, then it has a cloud application which duplicates this. You go to the website, you register, you download the software, then you format it. Big question is, Ian, can I book a consultation so you can show me how to use Zotero? I'd be glad to show you how to use it as well. So on the left-hand side, I put a KINE 1P93 tab, so everything goes there. When I found individual things like my books, my articles, my definitions, or when I searched the database and found 10 articles, I sent everything here. So here on the right-hand side is a citation for the article. I didn't type any of this. It all went there automatically using Zotero and the links that Brock provides. People use Zotero and go, wow, it's amazing. I wouldn't use anything else. It changed my life. I hate doing bibliographies, so this does it. But it also keeps a record of all the citations you've done for this particular assignment. So I've got about 30 here. I may only use 5, but 5 years from now, I'm going to go back and go, oh, what were those articles? It keeps a record of everything that you've done as well. Really valuable. Zotero, better than sliced bread. Another thing people use for Zotero is they download the Zotero Word app. So on the top left, when you click on Add, Edit a Citation, When you're writing your paper, this paper discusses risky play as defined by, and you put the in-text citation, it adds the article citation under your references as well. Wow. So when you're done your writing, push, pull, test, try, it does your references as well. So some people go, this is amazing, use it all the time. I use it sometimes, but not all the time. So there we go. Top 10 resources you should know about, how to look for books, databases, how to find specifically articles that are scholarly peer-reviewed for this assignment, citation management, how to capture and manage your citations. Now a few notes on where, how, and when to get help. Well, Research Fundamentals course actually worked quite well. There's some video tutorials that we use. What's our research strategy? What are scholarly resources? How do we know whether it's peer-reviewed? There's many others. You can browse them all. They're good 2 or 3 minute guides to how to do this sort of things. And you may have already looked at some of these research fundamentals, but they're good. Or just come out and ask for help. You can ask the Brock Library Help page, which has a number of things on it. The Kinesiology Research Guide always has a number of things. You can always email the library. You can email me, but email libhelp@brocky.ca, and through the week, someone will get back to you. I don't know if you've ever, but there's a chat widget on the front page. It's that red Ask Us chat. So someone across Ontario, including people at Brock, answer quick questions at any time of the day. And through this term, nights and weekends, they'll help you as well. How do I cite this? Or how do I define this? They'll be able to help you quick and dirty things as well. It's an excellent. I even use chat service. And the last thing on the bottom is book a consultation. Now, you may not need help with a good question or this particular essay assignment, but we're here to help you. And this is how it works. So if you click on the book consultation lab, you can find me or my colleagues, find the date that works, and then this meshes with my calendar. So there's a time that I'm available. So if you click on one of those and click on continue, it books a consultation between you and me. You can even bring someone else along. We can do it by teams. We prefer to do it in person. But then it'll prompt you, ask you, so why do you want to book a consultation? So you can say, well, help with my essay. Can you show me how to use the tarot? And then it gives you an email, gives me an email, so I know that you're coming. You can cancel it, you can change it, but that's how you book a consultation. One-on-one or small group help as well. So there you go. I'm a teaching and learning librarian. If you email me, put this course or kinesiology in the subject line so it doesn't go to my junk mail. But hopefully you can be successful for a great course, a great faculty member, and great support for this particular essay assignment. Remember, follow the instructions, meet the deadlines, and review the sources here, not only for this particular essay, but other things you want to do as well. So good luck with this particular assignment. All the best.